Chosen one. Heaven has interrupted your timeline. Everything around you may look ordinary right now. But this moment, this very breath, is not ordinary. It is divine orchestration. Heaven has pressed pause on every distraction to deliver this word straight into your spirit. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are being rescued. Listen carefully. The very fact that you are hearing these words means you are in the divine countdown. You have asked, God, when will it be my turn? And the Spirit answers now, not later, not someday. Now, the winds are shifting, and your name has been called in the courts of heaven. You've carried pain silently, endured seasons that looked like punishment, but were really preparation. Every tear was a seed, and tonight the heavens begin to water that seed. The drought is over. The waiting season has expired. God says, I will rescue you. You have walked through storms that stripped you bare, but those storms only removed what was never meant to cover you. You have lost friends, comfort, and certainty. But in the losing, you found truth. The silence you thought was rejection was actually the sound of heaven building your next chapter. The delay was divine protection. Chosen one. Your steps have been ordered even when you thought you were lost. Every closed door was a shield. Every unanswered prayer was a redirection. What tried to bury you only planted you. Now, the soil of your suffering is beginning to move. The resurrection of your destiny has begun to breathe beneath the ground. Do not scroll past this moment. Heaven is standing still. Your angels have been assigned, and the chains that held you are trembling. You are hearing this because time is converging a 21-minute window where obedience opens rescue. Do not take it lightly. The Spirit whispers, respond. You are being called to remember who you are. You were never meant to blend in, never meant to be ordinary. You are marked. The weight you have felt lately is not just pressure, it's purpose pressing through. That restlessness in your heart is heaven knocking, saying, rise, my child. The night is ending. The heavens have watched you stand at the edge of surrender for far too long. You have felt the pull between staying in comfort and stepping into calling. This is your turning point. The divine rescue will not meet you in hesitation. It will meet you in motion. Take one step, and heaven will run to meet you. There is a sound rising inside you, a vibration of faith that shakes fear loose from its throne. That sound is your spirit remembering eternity. You were formed for this moment. You were chosen for this call. You are stepping into the version of yourself that darkness has tried to bury for years, but it ends now. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. This is your assurance. You do not need to force the rescue. You only need to surrender. The battle that once terrified you is now in the hands of the Almighty. He is fighting unseen wars on your behalf, where you see no way. Heaven is already clearing a path. So, beloved, chosen one, take a moment. Feel the weight of this word in your chest. Heaven is closer than your breath. Angels are leaning in, waiting for your agreement. Type 777 in the comments as a prophetic act of alignment, a signal to the heavens that you receive your rescue, that you are saying yes to divine timing. Do not hesitate. Do not question if you are worthy. The very reason you are hearing this now is proof that you are seen, loved and chosen. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. Heaven knew exactly where to find you. Now, before you move, do one more thing, like this message. Share it, so it reaches another chosen one who needs to hear the same call. Subscribe, not for the numbers, but to stay anchored in the flow of prophetic truth. You are part of a remnant, a company of souls awakening to purpose. When you connect, you strengthen the chain of light. Remember, this is not just a message, it's a summons. You are being drafted into your destiny. Time is moving. Heaven's clock is counting down. And while the world continues spinning unaware, heaven is watching to see who will respond. Will it be you? Chosen one. The heavens. Remember every moment you whispered prayers through trembling lips. The world may have overlooked your pain, but heaven never did. Every silent night, every tear you wiped away before anyone could see, it was witnessed by the one who counts the stars and still knows your name. You thought you were surviving, but you were being shaped. There were days when you felt invisible, as if the sky itself had turned against you. You watched others rise while you stood still, holding dreams that seemed to be fading. But what you didn't know is that the stillness was sacred. In the quiet, God was building endurance inside you. He was making sure your foundation would not collapse when the blessing arrived. You have been walking through the valley of shadows, wondering if anyone would notice how heavy your heart had become. Yet even in your weariness, you never stopped believing. Even when faith felt thin, you refused to let go. That, chosen one, is why heaven has remembered you. There is something holy about being misunderstood. It means you are carrying a light that darkness cannot interpret. You were never meant to fit into ordinary spaces because the calling on your life is not ordinary. The storms you faced were not punishments. They were confirmations that the enemy saw what was inside you before you did. The Lord has seen how you kept going when your soul was exhausted. He saw how you loved others when no one loved you back. You didn't know it, but your persistence was prophecy. Every time you refused to quit, the gates of darkness trembled. Your survival was a declaration. I will not die here. And heaven echoed it back to you. You will not die here. The place that tried to break you will become the very ground where you stand in victory. The season that tried to destroy you will testify that you were never alone. You see, God's rescue doesn't always arrive with thunder and lightning. Sometimes it shows up as peace that doesn't make sense, as doors closing that seemed unfair, as people leaving who were never meant to stay. The rescue began when you surrendered the need to understand everything and chose instead to trust the unseen. Heaven has kept a record of your perseverance. You have been faithful with little, and soon you will be entrusted with much. There are rewards for those who endure silently while still believing loudly in their spirit. And you, beloved, have done exactly that. There is a story in your scars. Every wound that healed became a doorway for compassion. Every rejection carved room in your heart for greater mercy. You may not realize it yet, but you've become the kind of person God can trust with the pain of others. That is why your rescue is not just for you, it's for everyone who will find strength through your restoration. Heaven has whispered your name in rooms you've never entered. Promises you thought were forgotten are being reactivated even now. The years the locusts have eaten are being restored. You will see it. You will walk in it. The same God who allowed you to be tested is now preparing to reveal you. As the Spirit spoke, through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope. Hold on to that truth. The plan has not failed. It has been unfolding in secret. Every detour was divine. Every delay was a layer of preparation. You were never waiting for God. He was waiting for you to be ready. You are ready now. Ready to see what eyes have not seen. To walk through doors that were once sealed. To carry the light of your deliverance into places that have known only darkness. You are not being rescued just to be safe. You are being rescued to be sent. In this sacred pause, feel the weight of divine attention resting on you. You are no longer unseen. The Father has drawn near. He is closer than your fears, louder than your doubts, stronger than your past. Every time you felt like you were breaking, heaven was writing your breakthrough. Every tear was caught, every prayer recorded, every sigh translated into a language angels understand. You are known, you are loved, and your rescue is already in motion. So, breathe. Chosen one, rest in the knowledge that your story is far from over. The night is lifting, and dawn is already coloring the horizon of your destiny. You will look back and realize that what felt like the end was only the beginning of something holy. Your deliverance is not a rumor, it is a promise, and it has already begun. Chosen one, can you feel it? The air around you is shifting. Heaven is leaning closer, and something within you is stirring again. The whisper that once seemed distant is becoming clear. You've reached the edge between silence and revelation, between despair and destiny. This is the moment when the whisper becomes a command. Listen carefully. In the middle of the noise, the world will try to drown out the sound of God's voice. Distraction is the enemy's oldest weapon. He can't steal your calling, so he tries to scatter your focus. But you, chosen one, must remember, your peace is your protection. Every time you pause to listen, you defy the agenda of darkness. You've felt the pull lately, haven't you? That tug in your spirit, calling you to step away from the chaos of the world and return to the quiet place where his voice is loudest. You are not imagining it. Heaven has been whispering your name through restlessness, through dreams, through sudden stillness. That's not coincidence, it's divine communication. Heaven has been trying to reach you because something is about to unfold. The rescue God promised is drawing near, but it requires your attention. You cannot be delivered from what you're still distracted by. So the Spirit calls, be still. Listen. Respond. You have been asking for confirmation. And this is it. The delay you felt is not punishment, it's alignment. God was not ignoring you, He was adjusting you. He was teaching you to trust His voice, even when you couldn't trace His hand. And now that you've learned to listen in the dark, He will begin to speak in ways that light the path ahead. There is power in your awareness. When you recognize that God is near, fear loses its grip. When you choose to believe that every interruption carries divine purpose, confusion begins to dissolve. You are learning the rhythm of heaven, the pulse of peace that cuts through noise and chaos. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 28 declare, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Do you see it now? Even your pain was working for your good. Even your delay was a divine ingredient. Nothing has been wasted. What looked like a detour was actually direction. You've been walking through the workshop of heaven, where every broken piece of your past is being reshaped into a weapon of testimony. Beloved, the whisper of God never competes with noise. It waits for surrender. The more you quiet your world, the louder his voice becomes. That is why some people had to leave your life. Their noise was drowning your guidance. Heaven silenced them so you could finally hear what was meant for you. This is not the season to run, it's the season to recognize. The signs are already around you. Small shifts, sudden peace, strange coincidences that feel too intentional to ignore. Heaven is scripting details that only you would notice. They are divine breadcrumbs leading you back to purpose. And now, right here, heaven is asking for your response. If your spirit bears witness to what's being spoken, if you feel the vibration of truth in your chest, declare it. Type, "I hear you," in the comments. When you write those 3 words, you're not typing for me, you're writing to the heavens. It's a prophetic response, a public acknowledgement that you are listening. In the spiritual realm, those words carry weight. They tell heaven that your heart is open, your ears are tuned, and your obedience is ready. Every declaration of faith opens a door that doubt once sealed. Every confession of belief releases angels into motion. When you say, "I hear you," you align yourself with the frequency of divine instruction. You are no longer the lost one waiting for rescue. You are the warrior, listening for marching orders. Because the truth is this: you were never abandoned in the noise. The whisper of God never left you. It was just waiting for you to silence everything else. And now that you've tuned your heart to hear again, the rescue begins to accelerate. The next steps may not make sense, but they will make miracles. You will soon understand why certain doors closed so suddenly, why certain people faded, and why certain seasons hurt so deeply. Every unanswered question will become a revelation in time. You are about to see what happens when a chosen one not only believes, but listens. The heavens respond to ears that hear. The Spirit is not calling for perfection, only for attention. Listen, respond, and the rescue will meet you where you stand. For the voice that calls you out of confusion is the same voice that leads you into peace. The whisper you're hearing now is the sound of deliverance, and heaven waits for one response: "I hear you, oh, chosen one." Every breaking point you've faced has carried a hidden invitation. When the world began to crumble around you, heaven was not abandoning you, it was rebuilding you. What looked like destruction was in fact divine reconstruction. You stood in the ashes of what used to be, wondering why everything fell apart. But heaven knew it was the only way to make room for what's next. You see, God cannot fill hands that refuse to let go. And for a long time, you held tightly to things that were never meant to stay: relationships, plans, versions of yourself that no longer carried your destiny. So, heaven began to shake what was unstable, not to harm you, but to prepare you. That breaking you felt was not punishment. It was the sound of old chains snapping. Every breaking point in your story was perfectly timed. Heaven allowed certain things to collapse because your foundation was being strengthened beneath the surface. You were learning endurance, learning surrender, learning that faith doesn't always look like victory. It often looks like survival. But survival, in the hands of the divine, becomes the seed of revival. You've been asking why the pressure intensified when you tried to do right. Why storms came after obedience. Why pain increased after prayer. But the truth is, the closer you get to purpose, the greater the resistance becomes. You weren't being attacked because you failed. You were attacked because you were getting close. The enemy can sense when you are about to emerge from the shadows. So he tried to break you before you broke free. The prophet David once wrote through divine inspiration in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. End of. Let that sink into your soul. You were never alone in your pain. Every moment your heart shattered. God was closer than your breath. He didn't turn away when you fell apart. He drew near. The breaking did not push him away. It pulled him in. Sometimes, rescue begins with ruin. God allows the walls of your comfort to collapse so that you will finally look up. The broken pieces of your life are not wasted. They are being gathered by divine hands. What the enemy used to scatter you, heaven is using to shape you. The pain you've endured is becoming the evidence of your calling. Chosen one. You have to understand, brokenness is not a disqualification. It's a preparation. The most powerful vessels are the ones that have been shattered and remade in the fire. Gold is refined by heat, and so is the soul. You could not carry your next assignment with an untested heart. That's why it had to hurt. That's why certain things couldn't stay. And yet, look at you now. You survived what was meant to bury you. You found strength in places you didn't even know existed. The breaking did not destroy you, it revealed you. Every time you rose again, heaven recorded it. Every time you forgave, even when it hurt, heaven marked it as victory. Now, you are standing at the threshold of transformation. The pieces of your past are aligning to form something stronger, more radiant, and more whole than before. The scars you carry are no longer symbols of pain, they are seals of power. When others look at you, they will see proof that God rescues, restores, and redeems. Do not despise the cracks. They are the places where light enters. Do not curse the breaking. It was the doorway to revelation. You are not the same person who walked into the storm. You have emerged, purified, focused, and unshakable. Heaven is not rebuilding your life the way it was. It is constructing something new, something eternal. What fell apart was never meant to sustain you. What is being built now will carry you into your divine purpose. So, stand still for a moment. Look around the ruins of what used to be and notice how peace has returned to the space where chaos once lived. That peace is the presence of God. That stillness is a sign that the battle has shifted in your favor. The breaking point was never the end, it was the turning point. You have crossed from pain into power, from despair into destiny. Every fragment of your story has become part of the rescue plan, and when you look back one day, you will thank God for every shattered piece, because you will see what He was building all along, a masterpiece shaped by mercy, framed by grace, and filled with glory. Chosen one. Heaven has never been far from you. Even when it felt like the silence was endless, there was movement behind the veil. What seemed like a pause was preparation. God was writing a rescue plan in invisible ink, waiting for the right light to reveal it. And now that light has begun to shine, you are beginning to see what has always been there. There are times when God hides the blueprint so that your faith becomes the bridge. He doesn't always explain every detail. He simply invites you to trust the direction You have been walking blindfolded through a battlefield. Yet every step has been guided by unseen hands. The traps meant to destroy you have become training grounds for your discernment. Your journey has not been random. It has been a divine choreography. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment, it all moved in rhythm with a greater plan. Heaven never lost count of your steps. When you were crawling, He counted. When you were running, He smiled. When you were still, He whispered, "I'm here." Sometimes, the rescue is not a sudden escape, but a gradual unveiling. God has been leading you out of the wilderness piece by piece, moment by moment. You may not even notice how much has changed, but heaven does. Look closer. Your reactions are softer. Your prayers are stronger. And your hope, though fragile, refuses to die. That is evidence of divine intervention. The Spirit reminds us through the writings in Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. You are about to see those straight paths unfold. The crooked roads that once confused you are aligning under your feet. You have reached a moment when what was once mystery will become memory, a testimony of how God rescued you when you least expected it. Beloved, imagine your story as a tapestry. From your side, it may look tangled, with threads of sorrow and knots of confusion. But from heaven's side, it is art. Every color, every thread, every painful turn contributes to the masterpiece. You have not been stitched in vain. And just as that tapestry carries light and shadow to form beauty, so your life carries joy and sorrow to form purpose. Without the dark threads, the image would have no depth. Without the storms, you would have no strength. Heaven has been weaving redemption through every heartbreak, turning chaos into color. As you hear these words, pause and breathe. Let gratitude fill the cracks where grief once lived. Feel the peace that only heaven can give. The rescue plan is not coming, it has already begun. You are standing in the middle of it, chosen one. When you share light, it multiplies. Like a single candle that ignites others without losing its flame, your voice can carry hope to someone who has forgotten how to believe. Maybe that's why you found this message today, not only to receive it, but to become part of its echo. So, if this word resonates with you, gently let it ripple outward. Like this message, if it has stirred something sacred within you, not as a routine gesture, but as a quiet agreement with heaven, share it so that another weary soul might stumble upon their reminder that they, too, are seen and chosen. Subscribe if your spirit desires to stay near this stream of living words, not for numbers, but for nourishment. Think of it as planting a seed in someone else's storm. The same light that found you can travel through your simple act of sharing, finding another heart hidden in the dark. Your gesture could become their rescue signal, their confirmation that God still speaks. Every seed of light you sow is noticed by heaven. The kingdom grows not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent acts of love. Each click, each share, each whispered yes becomes part of the divine network connecting the chosen across nations. You are not just a listener, you are a messenger. The same words that comforted you today may one day flow through your mouth to comfort another. That is how heaven multiplies miracles. The plan is working. The rescue is unfolding, and your obedience, even in something as simple as sharing truth, is part of that unfolding. So, walk with peace in your spirit. You are not behind schedule. You are right where you're meant to be. Standing in the center of a story that heaven is still writing. The ink is divine, and the ending is redemption. And when you look back, you will realize every twist, every silence, every storm was God saying, "Trust me, I was rescuing you all along." Chosen one. Heaven is counting time differently than you are. What feels like waiting is, in truth, divine Synchronisation. The rescue has not been delayed, it has been aligning. You are living inside a countdown written long before you were born. And heaven is whispering that the window is open now. The 21-minute window of response is not a metaphor, it is a divine alert. Right now, the unseen clock of heaven is ticking, not to threaten you, but to awaken you. Every second carries weight. Each moment you hesitate, the enemy works to distract you, to pull your heart away from the rescue that is already reaching for you. But heaven says, focus, do not drift. Time is sacred. It is not just measured in minutes and hours, it is measured in obedience. And obedience always determines outcome. God is calling you to act, to align, to believe before you see. The miracle will not meet you in passivity, it will meet you in participation. You are not hearing these words by accident. The fact that your eyes are still reading and your heart is still listening means the divine moment is still active. The rescue is hovering above you, waiting for your agreement. Do not assume there will be another reminder. Heaven does not repeat itself when it has already revealed itself. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. This day I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. Amen. You are being reminded that obedience always unlocks protection. Every command God gives is not restriction, it is rescue. When He says, move, it is because danger is behind you. When He says, wait, it is because He is fighting battles you cannot see. Your part is to trust the rhythm of heaven. Even when you do not understand the melody, there are some moments that shape eternity, and this is one of them. The atmosphere around you has shifted. Angels are already in position. You may not see them, but they are moving swiftly, carrying the answer to prayers. You forgot you prayed. Heaven is waiting for your yes. The number heaven has placed before you today is 444. It is not random, it is prophetic. It represents divine completion and spiritual awakening. When you type 444 in the comments, it is not superstition, it is symbolism. It is your declaration that you choose life, alignment, and obedience in this moment. Write it not as an act of routine, but as an act of faith. Those 3 digits are your yes, written in code. They are your signal to heaven that you have heard, understood, and chosen to step into the flow of divine timing. This is the moment to act, not to analyze. There will be plenty of time to understand later. But right now, heaven is asking for trust. God's rescue rarely looks the way we expect. Sometimes it comes wrapped in confusion, hidden in small steps of obedience. But every time you respond with faith, the heavens shift. Every time you say, yes, something moves in the unseen realm. The 21 minutes are not meant to frighten you. They are meant to awaken you. Heaven knows your heart beats faster when you feel urgency. And that quickening is the Spirit saying, "Now is the time. The delay is over. You have waited for signs. This is one. You have prayed for clarity. This is confirmation. You have begged heaven to show you that you're not forgotten. This is your reminder." So, as you breathe these words in, whisper to yourself, "I choose life." Speak it out loud if you can. Let your room hear it. Let your walls remember it. Let your soul agree with it. That declaration carries power. It is not emotion, it is spiritual legislation. Because what heaven releases always requires earthly agreement. And your agreement is what opens the gates of rescue. You are not powerless. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are right on time, standing at the threshold of your deliverance. When you type 444, you're not performing for anyone. You are aligning your timeline with eternity. Heaven will see it, record it, and respond to it. It will become your marker, your digital altar, your proof that you heard the voice and obeyed the call. The countdown has already begun, but the door is still open. The rescuer is still reaching. The choice is still yours. Do not let hesitation be the thief of your destiny. The time is now. Chosen one. This is the test few ever pass the test of obedience. It does not come when things are easy or clear. It comes when the path ahead is covered in fog and the voice of heaven whispers directions that contradict your logic. This is the point where trust becomes more than a word. It becomes your walk. You have prayed for clarity. But God is not giving you explanations. He is giving you instructions. And that difference defines the depth of your faith. It's easy to obey when you understand. It's divine to obey when you don't. Heaven is not asking you to make sense of it. It is asking you to move with it. The test of obedience is not about perfection. It's about alignment. Heaven is not grading your performance. It's measuring your willingness. The smallest yes carries more power than 1,000 excuses. Your obedience is not just about what happens to you. It affects generations that follow you. When you obey, chains break some you'll never even see. You stand now between two altars, the altar of comfort and the altar of calling. The altar of comfort promises ease, but costs purpose. The altar of calling demands surrender, but releases glory. You must choose where to place your offering. And the truth is, you cannot stay at both. There are moments when obedience feels like loss, when God asks you to walk away from something that feels right but isn't aligned, when He asks you to forgive someone who never apologized, when He asks you to let go of what you built so He can give you what He designed. These are sacred moments, the kind that refine the soul into gold. Remember Abraham. When God asked for Isaac, it wasn't about the sacrifice, it was about the surrender. God was testing whether Abraham loved the gift more than the giver. And when Abraham raised his hand in obedience, heaven shouted, "Stop!" Because true obedience doesn't always end in loss, it ends in revelation. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, first book, chapter 2, verse 9, "What no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him." So, that is the promise written into your test. The unseen blessings are not being withheld, they are being reserved. God is saving them for the version of you that obedience will shape. Because not every version of you can carry what He has planned. Some blessings require a purified vessel. Some callings require a surrendered heart. The pain of obedience is temporary, the fruit of it is eternal. Every yes you give, heaven becomes a seed in the soil of destiny. You may not see the tree yet, but its roots are already reaching deep. Trust that what you are planting in obedience will one day shade your future from the heat of regret. Sometimes, obedience will isolate you. People will misunderstand you, question your motives, or accuse you of arrogance when you're just following instruction. But isolation is not punishment, it's insulation. God pulls you aside to protect the purity of what He's building in you. The crowd can't handle what's growing in your spirit. If you feel misunderstood right now, take comfort. The greatest acts of obedience in history were first met with confusion. Noah built an ark under clear skies. Moses raised a staff at a sea that refused to move. Mary said yes to a miracle that looked like scandal. Obedience rarely makes sense. In the moment, it makes history afterward. And so will yours. You are walking through a doorway disguised as difficulty. Every act of obedience is pushing that door open wider. Heaven is recording your steps. Angels are aligning circumstances that will only unlock once you cross the line of hesitation. Do not let fear disguise itself as wisdom. Move forward with the assurance that heaven backs your obedience. When you can't trace the hand of God, trust His heart. When the plan seems uncertain, remember, the promise remains unchanged. The God who called you is faithful. He is not testing you to watch you fall. He is testing you to prove what He already placed inside you. This is the season where obedience will lead you to revelation, and revelation will lead you to rescue. You are standing on holy ground, and heaven is watching your next step. Breathe. Chosen one. The weight you feel is not pressure, it's purpose settling into place. You are not walking alone. The one who calls you by name is walking beside you, turning every act of obedience into a pathway of deliverance. What feels like surrender today will look like victory tomorrow. Trust Him. The test is temporary, but the transformation will last forever. Chosen one. As you begin to align with obedience, the atmosphere around you shifts, and that is when the enemy grows restless. Darkness does not fear talent, wealth, or intellect. It fears obedience, because obedience produces authority, and authority disrupts every demonic structure built to hold you down. You've noticed it, haven't you? The sudden waves of confusion, the strange fatigue, the people who suddenly turn against you without cause. It is not coincidence. It is counterattack. The enemy senses movement in the heavens, so he launches noise in the earth. He knows he cannot stop your rescue, so he tries to distract you from it. But, beloved, remember this: you are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are effective. Every storm that rises against you is proof that you are advancing. The darker the cloud, the closer the breakthrough. When pressure increases, it is often the final stage before release. The power that resides in you is ancient and unstoppable. The light you carry exposes everything false. That is why darkness resists you. It's terrified of your awakening. The moment you start realizing who you truly are, a chosen, sealed, anointed one, the kingdom of darkness begins to tremble. Heaven speaks through the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That is why discernment is crucial in this season. Not every conflict requires reaction. Not every voice deserves attention. You must learn to fight differently. Silence can be a sword. Peace can be a weapon. When you refuse to react to chaos, you strip it of power. There will be days when you feel like you're fighting invisible walls, but in truth, those walls are falling. You just can't see the cracks yet. The unseen realm always moves before the visible one does. So when you feel warfare intensify, it's not a sign to retreat, it's proof that heaven is advancing on your behalf. Remember how the Israelites marched around Jericho? For 6 days they saw no visible change. Only stone walls mocking their obedience. But on the 7th day, the sound of faith shattered the unseen barrier, and what had stood for generations fell in moments. That is how your battle will end too. Quiet persistence will break loud opposition. The enemy is terrified of a believer who keeps showing up. He can't do much with someone who refuses to quit. That's what you've been becoming resilient. Every time you prayed while crying, worshipped while weary, believed while broken, you became more dangerous to darkness. There are seasons when God allows you to face resistance, not to destroy you, but to reveal your strength. The storm doesn't expose your weakness, it exposes your endurance. The enemy thought you'd give up by now, but here you are still standing, still listening, still believing. That alone is a victory, and though you can't see it, there are angels surrounding you. They have been dispatched, carrying weapons of light. Every time you whisper the name of Jesus, their swords ignite. Every time you resist temptation, their ranks strengthen. You are not fighting alone. You are surrounded by an army that never loses. So, do not curse the battle. The warfare around you is confirmation of the rescue within you. The greater the opposition, the greater the outpouring that follows. You are being trained, not punished. Every hit you take in this season is shaping you into someone who can handle glory without crumbling under its weight. Even the delay you feel now is strategic. God is allowing tension because tension builds power, like an arrow drawn back before release. The pressure is positioning you for distance. What feels like setback is the preparation for sudden acceleration. Chosen one. Understand this deeply. The enemy only attacks what carries potential. He wouldn't fight so hard if you weren't destined to shift atmospheres. You are not small, you are seismic. Every prayer you whisper shakes unseen realms. Every act of faith plants seeds of divine disruption. So lift your head. Even in the storm, there's a rhythm in this battle, and heaven has already written your victory into it. The enemy may roar, but his roar has no authority over a child of light. Let this truth settle in your bones. What was meant to destroy you will end up defining you. The fire that tried to consume you will instead refine you. And when you emerge, and you will carry a glow that no darkness can imitate. The counterattack is not your ending, it's your coronation. Every wound, every bruise, every sleepless night will testify, God rescued me, and nothing could stop it. Chosen one. The weight of your words has never been more powerful than now. In the unseen, your voice carries frequency, a sound that heaven recognizes. Every declaration of faith, every whisper of surrender, every breath that says, I still believe, creates movement in realms you cannot see. The power of life and death truly rests on the tongue, and you are about to use it to unlock your rescue. Heaven has always responded to sound, It was sound that brought creation into being. God spoke, and light appeared. It was sound that shattered Jericho's walls. It was sound that released Paul and Silas from their prison chains. And now, it will be sound that activates your next miracle. The sound doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be real. You've been quiet for too long. The enemy's greatest goal has been to silence you, to make you believe that your voice doesn't matter. He has attacked your confidence, your faith, your boldness, because he knows that when you open your mouth with conviction, something breaks in the spirit. Heaven moves when you speak truth with belief. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 11, verse 23, declare, "Truly I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, and does not doubt, but believes in his heart, it will be done." This is the moment. Chosen one. When you stop agreeing with defeat and start declaring destiny, your voice is not a small sound, it is a trumpet. It carries authority written in divine ink. When you speak alignment, heaven echoes. When you speak surrender, angels respond. When you speak faith, mountains obey. You've spent enough time narrating pain. Now it's time to narrate purpose. The words you use in this season will write the script of your next. Every phrase you speak over yourself either builds a bridge or erects a wall. Speak as one who knows. The author of time is listening. Think about it. How many times did your silence allow doubt to settle? How many breakthroughs were delayed because your mouth stayed shut while fear whispered lies? You must reclaim your sound. The rescue you've been waiting for requires a voice that participates in its own freedom. Your words have creative power. They paint futures, plant hope, and summon miracles. Heaven designed your voice as a tool of transformation, not just expression. When you declare truth, darkness loses jurisdiction. Right now, heaven is inviting you to respond, not with emotion, but with recognition. If this message finds your spirit awake, speak it out loud or write it where the world can see. Type, "I still trust," in the comments. When you write it, understand what you're declaring. You are not saying you trust the process, you are saying you trust the one who commands it. "I still trust" means you choose faith even when the evidence is scarce. It means you refuse to let disappointment define your devotion. It means that though the mountain hasn't moved yet, you believe it's trembling. These 3 words carry the weight of warfare. They tell the enemy, "You didn't win." They tell heaven, "I'm still here." And they tell your soul, "We're not giving up." This is not a cliché comment, it's a covenant. Each person who types those words is standing with you in the spirit. Together, your voices form a collective sound, a chorus of chosen ones saying, "We trust you, Lord, no matter what." Faith does not deny reality, it defies it. It looks chaos in the eye and says, "You don't get the final word." That is what your declaration does. It rewrites endings. It summons restoration. It calls light into places that forgot what dawn looked like. When you say, "I still trust," heaven releases strategy. Strength returns to weary bones. Hope rises from the ashes. The very atmosphere shifts around you because trust is an act of war against fear. You might feel small right now, but your sound is mighty. Remember how David's song soothed a tormented king, how Gideon's shout turned a few hundred men into an army, how the cry of a crucified Savior split the veil between heaven and earth. Your sound carries that same potential. It connects you to divine authority. So, lift your head. Even if tears blur your vision, open your mouth. Even if your voice shakes, declare those words not as a reaction, but as revelation. You were made to speak light into dark spaces. The silence ends here. And as those words leave your lips or your fingertips, know that heaven records them. The rescue accelerates when trust is declared. You have done your part. You have answered the call. Type it. Whisper it. Believe it. Be still, trust. And let the heavens respond. Chosen one. Every step you have taken has been leading here to alignment. This is the season where heaven calls your name, not as a whisper of comfort, but as a summons to order. The divine rescue is not just about escape, it's about structure. What God is building in you now must stand, must last, must shine. You are not being lifted out of chaos just to survive. You are being positioned to reign. Alignment begins with agreement. You cannot walk north while your heart drifts south. You cannot ask for freedom while holding hands with fear. Heaven is calling you to recalibrate, to bring your inner world into rhythm with God's truth. When your spirit, mind, and actions move in harmony, heaven begins to move with you. It's like the tuning of an instrument. Before the music can flow, the strings must be stretched into balance. It's not a comfortable process. The tension feels sharp, the adjustment precise, but once tuned, the sound becomes beautiful. That's what heaven is doing in you right now. The stretching is not punishment, it's preparation for melody. There was a time when your faith sounded off-key, when your rhythm didn't match heaven's pulse. But now the divine conductor is adjusting every string, every chord, every tone of your life, until what flows from you becomes a song of purpose. Soon, even your scars will sing. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 37, verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Think about that. Heaven delights in your steps, even the uncertain ones. The path you are walking may feel unpredictable, but it is ordered. Every detour is part of the map. Every delay is still direction. Heaven doesn't waste your wandering. It weaves it into destiny. Chosen one. Imagine your life as a great river. It doesn't rush straight to the sea. It curves, bends, sometimes even seems to flow backward, but it never loses its purpose. Every twist is shaped by the terrain it must nourish. That's you. Every turn of your journey has watered something divine along the way, even when you didn't see it. Now, the river of your purpose is widening. The current is growing stronger. You can feel it, can't you? That pull inside, the sense that you're being carried towards something larger than yourself. This is not chance. This is calling. The alignment you've been resisting is the current you were designed to flow in. In this moment, pause, reflect. If these words have touched something true inside you, if they've reminded you that your detours still have direction, let gratitude rise like a quiet tide. And if you feel led, let your gratitude ripple outward, like this message, not out of routine, but as a small gesture of agreement, a signal to heaven that you recognize your steps are ordered. Share it, not as an obligation, but as a seed of light. There's someone out there still standing in confusion, staring at the ruins of their plans, wondering if God forgot them. Your simple act might be the message that pulls them back to hope. Let this word flow through you, the way rivers carry life downstream. And subscribe not for numbers or noise, but to stay anchored in the rhythm of these messages. Each word you hear here is not content, it's continuation. It keeps you connected to the divine melody that heaven is composing in your story. You are not just a receiver of truth, you are a vessel of it. When you share light, you become part of heaven's circulation system, carrying life into hearts that have gone numb. You are not promoting a message, you are propagating mercy. Alignment means realizing you are both rescued and rescuer, both student and messenger. The flow that fills you is meant to overflow. That's how heaven multiplies, one awakened heart at a time. And as you align, things begin to reorder around you. Relationships shift, opportunities open, peace replaces panic. The outer world bends to match the inner world once it aligns with divine rhythm. You will see it. Doors that once resisted will respond. Situations that once drained, you will dissolve. That is the fruit of spiritual order. Chosen one, you have spent enough time surviving storms. Now it is time to sail. The wind that once opposed you will soon propel you. The sea that once threatened to swallow you will now carry your destiny. The key is alignment, sails raised, heart open, eyes fixed on the horizon where heaven and earth meet. Your life is not off track. It is orchestrated. The music is building. The current is strong. And heaven smiles as you find your rhythm again. Like a river to the ocean, your steps will find their home. Chosen one. Even now, a quieter battle is taking place, the one inside you. It is not the noise of external warfare that wears you down the most, but the constant dialogue between your faith and your fear. You wake up believing and go to sleep questioning. You move forward 1 hour and hesitate the next. The war within you is the place where destiny is decided. You are not weak for feeling this tension. Every soul called by heaven must confront the storm that lives inside. You carry divine fire within a human frame, and that collision creates heat, conflict, refining. What you feel as confusion is often transformation. What feels like pressure is the forming of power. Sometimes the loudest enemy is the one in your own mind, the whisper that says, "You're too late. You're not enough. You've failed too many times." But those words do not come from the God who chose you. They come from the shadows, afraid of what you'll become once you believe again. The moment you silence those lies, the rescue accelerates. Every great calling must be tested in isolation. Even Jesus faced the wilderness before walking into his ministry. The desert doesn't exist to destroy you, it exists to detox you. It burns away the illusions, the dependence on approval, the addiction to validation. When all those fall away, only truth remains, and truth is where your authority begins. As the Apostle Paul wrote in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Read that again. Slowly. Power made perfect in weakness. Heaven's strength doesn't replace your fragility, it fills it. Your weakness isn't disqualifying you, it's qualifying you. The areas you're ashamed of are the very places God plans to reveal his glory. Do you see the pattern? When you were at your lowest, grace found you. When you were on the verge of giving up, mercy intervened. You are not still standing because of your strength. You are standing because grace held you upright. The same grace that kept you then will carry you now. There's a quiet beauty in weakness, surrendered. It becomes like clay in the hands of the potter, malleable, shapeable, teachable. The unbroken refuse, shaping, but the surrendered become vessels of glory. That's why God sometimes allows cracks to let His light shine through. Chosen one. Stop apologizing for your humanity. You were never called to be flawless. You were called to be faithful. Heaven doesn't demand perfection, only honesty. Tell God when you're tired. Tell Him when you're angry. When you don't understand, He doesn't withdraw from transparency. He dwells in it. The war within is not a sign that something is wrong. It's proof that something is right. You wouldn't be fighting this hard if destiny weren't close. The friction inside you is the sound of purpose pushing through. You are learning that peace doesn't mean the absence of battle. It means the presence of assurance. Even in the noise, you can carry calm. Even in uncertainty, you can remain anchored. This is the inner rescue, the saving of your mind from despair. When fear speaks, answer it with truth. When shame whispers, respond with grace. When exhaustion hits, rest in the knowledge that the one who began a good work in you will complete it. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of this conflict, the you who trusts deeply, who doesn't flinch at darkness, who walks with steady faith. That version is being born through this battle. You are not behind. You are in process. Even now, heaven is weaving strength into your weakness, wisdom into your wounds. Every doubt you defeat becomes a doorway for someone else's freedom. That's how heaven multiplies victory. So, breathe. Let the inner war quiet for a moment. Feel the presence that never left you. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of rescue. You already are. You don't have to fight for attention. You already have it. The very air around you hums with divine awareness. And when the next wave of inner noise rises, remember this: storms only form where there is atmosphere. The turbulence you feel means there's power inside you, waiting to be released. The silent war within is not your end, it's your awakening. When peace finally settles, it won't be borrowed from the world, it will rise from within you. Unshakable, indéniable, eternal, chosen one. Do you feel it? The rhythm of heaven has changed tempo. The stillness that once surrounded you has shifted into motion. There's a pull in your spirit, a stirring that feels like the moment before a door opens. You are standing in divine timing now, the seconds between prophecy and fulfillment, where faith becomes sight and waiting turns into walking. Heaven is whispering that your moment is not coming, it's here. What felt delayed was only being developed. While you thought nothing was moving, everything was aligning. You have been walking through the unseen mechanics of a miracle. And now, the manifestation begins to break through. This is the prophetic countdown, the sacred intersection between preparation and promise. You have carried the word long enough. You've prayed, fasted, wept, waited, and heaven says, now, the clock of destiny has struck its appointed hour. For months, perhaps years, you've been living in prophetic tension, knowing something was coming, but unable to name it. That tension was divine labor. The rescue wasn't late, it was maturing. Heaven doesn't rush what it loves, it perfects what it promises. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 60. Verse 22, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. You are in that right time now. The moment that once felt far off has arrived, wrapped in ordinary hours. It won't always appear dramatic, but you'll know it when peace replaces panic, when doors open without knocking, when your heart suddenly understands what your tears were preparing you for. Chosen one. Heaven is giving you a signal, a prophetic number of divine completion, of restoration, multiplied. That number is 888. When you type 888 in the comments, you are not posting digits. You are proclaiming destiny. It is a spiritual signature, a declaration that you are stepping into divine renewal, the beginning of new beginnings. This number represents resurrection and restoration. The old has passed. The new is alive. You're not typing for visibility. You're typing for alignment. You're telling heaven, I agree. I receive. I'm ready. You are placing your faith into motion, creating a visible echo of an invisible reality. Heaven doesn't look at the comment section. It looks at the courage behind it. Why does heaven use numbers? Because creation itself speaks in them. Days, seasons, and divine appointments are all measured by timing. When God asks you to respond with something simple, a number, a word, an act, it's not for His sake. It's to awaken your awareness. Faith must move to stay alive. You have waited long enough. Every delay that felt like denial was actually design. You weren't forgotten. You were fortified. The silence that scared you was the sound of roots growing deeper. You were not stuck. You were being strengthened. Now, the hourglass turns. The countdown that began in heaven before you were born is nearing its revelation. The promises that once hovered above you are beginning to land. The atmosphere around your life is shifting from preparation to performance. Can you sense it? The lightness in your spirit, the way your heart beats faster, as if recognizing something it once knew. It's not emotion, it's confirmation. You are stepping into your appointed hour. Everything that once opposed you will now align with you. The resources you need, the people you're meant to meet, the opportunities you couldn't manufacture, they're being drawn toward you by divine magnetism. Heaven is coordinating connections that could not have been planned by human hands. The moment you declare 888, heaven reads it as readiness. It is your coded way of saying, I accept the assignment. It means you are finished running from purpose and ready to walk into promise. This number is more than confirmation, it's covenant. It declares that cycles of loss have ended and seasons of renewal have begun. You have come through the pruning, and now the fruit will show. You have walked through the wilderness, and now the river flows again. The angels assigned to your journey have not been idle. They've been arranging paths, moving obstacles, softening hearts, and opening doors. Heaven's orchestration is flawless. Every piece is falling into place, not by accident, but by appointment. Chosen one. Your part is simple. Believe, respond, and breathe. You don't have to force what's flowing. You only need to stay in motion with the rhythm of grace. This moment, this very one, is not symbolic, it's supernatural. The prophetic number 888 carries the vibration of resurrection, the sound of new beginnings. When you declare it, you are standing in agreement with heaven's timing and stepping into divine renewal. Type it with intention. Whisper it with faith. Let the number be your seal, heaven's reminder that the promise is no longer pending. It is present. The countdown is complete. The wait is over. The rescue has arrived, and it bears your name. 888, the sound of new beginnings. Chosen one. When surrender finally settles into the soul, something indescribable happens. The war between striving and trusting quiets, and peace begins to breathe again. This is the holy moment, the moment of surrender, not the weak surrender of defeat, but the sacred surrender of recognition. You realize you were never meant to carry what only heaven could hold. Surrender is not the end of effort. It is the beginning of alignment. It doesn't mean you stop moving. It means you stop resisting the direction of the wind. It is the posture of an open hand instead of a clenched fist. The moment you release control, the miracle begins to flow. You've tried long enough to fix what only faith can heal. You've exhausted yourself trying to understand people who were never assigned to stay. Situations that were never meant to last. Plans that heaven has already rewritten. The tension you feel is the tug of war between your will and God's will. But surrender does not come from giving up. It comes from growing up. This is where heaven meets humanity. The point where strength finally admits, I can't do this alone. And heaven replies, you never had to. That is surrender, the merging of divine power and human limitation into something miraculous. The prophet Isaiah once wrote words that echo like comfort across generations. It is recorded in chapter 41, verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Under K, that promise was not spoken into perfection, but into pressure. It was meant for souls like yours, souls stretched thin between exhaustion and expectation. When God says, I will uphold you, He doesn't mean you won't feel weak. He means your weakness won't define you. Surrender feels like falling, but in truth, it's landing in the hands of the one who never drops what He holds. Every time you release something, heaven catches it. Every I can't, you whisper, becomes an opening for He can. Or, you've fought battles that weren't yours to fight. You've worried over outcomes that were never your responsibility to control. Heaven has been waiting patiently for this moment, for you to stop trying to be your own savior and finally let God be who He is. There is power in stillness. Stillness is not inactivity, it is agreement. It is saying, Lord, I trust your timing more than my own understanding. In that stillness, things begin to align quietly. Doors open without knocking. Answers come without chasing. Strength rises without striving. Think of a seed buried deep in soil. It does not push the dirt away in panic. It simply rests. It trusts the unseen process of growth, knowing that darkness does not mean death, it means development. You, too, are in that holy soil. The pressure you feel is not burial, it's planting. And while surrender may feel like silence, heaven is loud with activity. Angels are rearranging circumstances. Favor is being whispered into places you've never entered. What looks motionless on earth is movement in heaven. Surrender also teaches vision. When you stop gripping yesterday, your hands open to receive tomorrow. The losses that once felt unbearable begin to reveal their purpose. You start to see that every goodbye was guided, every detour directed. Nothing was random, everything was redemptive. There's a kind of strength that only comes after release. When you stop demanding answers, peace takes their place. When you stop rehearsing pain, perspective blooms. Surrender turns what once seemed heavy into something holy. Chosen one, take a breath right now. Let your shoulders drop, your heart slow. You don't have to control what God already commands. You don't have to plan outcomes that have already been written. You only need to rest in the assurance that the author is still writing and the story isn't finished. Your surrender is the soil for miracles, not the dramatic ones that make headlines, but the quiet ones that rewrite hearts. The moment you truly let go, grace floods in like light filling a room. The instant you open the curtains, you don't have to force the sunrise, you only have to remove what's blocking it. And when you finally let go, you realize something profound. Surrender does not shrink you, it enlarges you. It frees your hands to build, your heart to feel, your faith to rise. You begin to walk lighter, speak softer, love deeper, because you've discovered that control was never safety, trust is. Heaven isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for permission. Permission to move, to heal, to lead, to love through you. And surrender is that permission slip written in tears and belief. So, let it happen. Let grace take over where willpower ends. Let peace replace panic. Let the hand of God hold what yours cannot. The moment you do, you'll discover the secret of every chosen one. Before you, victory begins, where resistance ends. Chosen one. After surrender, always comes the shaking. It is the holy tremor that follows divine release. Once you let go of what you cannot control, heaven begins to move what you cannot reach. It is not chaos, it is calibration. The ground beneath you trembles, not to frighten you, but to free you. Everything that can be shaken is being shaken, so that only what is eternal will remain. You have prayed for stability, but God often answers through shaking. He is not cruel, He is careful. When He removes what no longer serves your growth, it can feel like loss. But in truth, it is mercy. The shaking is not destruction, it is distinction. It separates the temporary from the true, the fragile from the faithful, the counterfeit from the called. Do not mistake the sound of collapse for failure. Heaven dismantles before it rebuilds. The structures you once depended on, people, systems, routines are being tested. Those built on truth will stand stronger. Those built on illusion will crumble. It's not punishment, it's purification. The shaking is heaven's way of ensuring your next season rests on solid ground. You've likely felt it already, the subtle unease, the sudden endings, the unexpected changes. Things that once made sense now seem uncertain. Doors you thought were secure have begun to close. Relationships, once steady, now feel distant. These are not signs of rejection, but signs of redirection. Heaven is pruning, not punishing. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 27, the Spirit reveals this mystery. The words "once more" indicate the removing of what can be shaken. That is, created things so that what cannot be shaken may remain. This verse holds both warning and comfort. Warning, because everything built on false foundations will tremble. Comfort, because what's divine within you will endure. God is not trying to destroy your world. He's revealing what your world was really built on. The shaking simply exposes what was already unstable. Every divine shaking carries a rhythm. It comes in waves, gentle at first, then stronger, until all that is unnecessary begins to fall away. It can be frightening to watch things unravel, but you must remember, God never removes without replacing, never shakes without purpose. He is making space for what He promised. When the earth trembles beneath you, anchor yourself in truth. Remind your soul that the unshakable One holds your steps. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. Every tremor is heaven adjusting you to fit the next chapter. The shaking also reveals alignment. It shows you who is meant to walk with you and who must stay behind. When the ground moves, the shallow roots loosen and drift away, but the deep ones dig deeper. Some people were only assigned to your old season. The shaking makes that clear. Let them go with gratitude, not bitterness. They played their part, but their role is complete. In the middle of all this movement, you might feel unstable, like you can't find your footing. But look closely. What's really happening is that your footing is being transferred. You're shifting from reliance on people to reliance on presence, from control to communion, from fear to faith. The shaking strips away false safety so that your soul learns where true safety lives. Even creation understands this process. Earthquakes relieve pressure built over time. Forest fires, though fierce, awaken seeds that only germinate in heat. Storms clear the air for sunlight to enter. Heaven works the same way. The pressure you feel is preparation for purity. Chosen one, remember that the shaking never lasts forever. After the trembling comes peace, the stillness that proves stability has returned. When the dust settles, what remains will be stronger, truer, unbreakable. You will see that the shaking was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to deliver you from everything not designed for where you're going. So, when the familiar begins to fall away, don't cling to what's crumbling. Instead, lift your eyes to what's emerging. The same hands that shook your world are also shaping your future. You'll soon realize that some things had to end for you to begin. Some doors had to close so the right one could open. Some voices had to fade so you could hear God clearly again. Do not mourn what was temporary. Heaven has never taken without intending to return. Multiplied, you are not being diminished, you are being defined. The shaking and the separation are sacred surgery. Heaven is cutting away what infects your faith and replacing it with resilience. When it's done, you'll walk lighter, freer, and with a foundation that storms can no longer shake. And when peace returns, you'll understand. The shaking was not a punishment, it was a purification. The storm didn't come to drown you, it came to cleanse you. Everything that remains after this will last, because what God steadies, no storm can move. Chosen one. The shaking has passed, and the air feels different now. Do you sense it? That stillness that follows storms, the silence after thunder fades. It is not emptiness, it is evidence. Heaven has completed a work inside you that words can barely describe. You are not the same person who entered the storm. You have risen through it, radiant and refined. This is the season of the rescued rising, the place where ashes turn to crowns, and survivors become testimonies. The old weight has fallen away. The heaviness that used to cling to your soul no longer fits. You've been rewritten by grace, reforged by fire, and renewed by purpose. You are quite literally. The proof that God still saves. You may not notice the change at first, but others will. They'll look at you and see peace where panic used to live, strength where sorrow once sat. Your very presence will shift atmospheres. When you enter a room, it will feel like light followed you in. That's not arrogance, it's evidence. You've become a carrier of the rescue you received. Heaven has not only delivered you, it has commissioned you. Every chosen one is both rescued and released. You are being sent as a signpost, a walking reminder that darkness does not win. You carry a flame now, one that cannot be hidden, one that terrifies shadows. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." That verse isn't a compliment, it's a calling. It means your story has purpose beyond your pain. You are not just a recipient of grace, you are now its reflection. Every scar you carry has become a lantern. Someone lost in their own storm will find direction by the glow of your survival. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. You don't chase the ships, you simply shine. The lost will see your light and find their way home. You don't need to shout. Your consistency will speak louder than words. Even when waves crash around you, your beam remains steady, cutting through fog and fear alike. And if these words have resonated with you, if you feel that unmistakable confirmation in your chest, then pause and let gratitude fill you. This is the moment when realization settles. I made it. You survived what was meant to destroy you. And now you're being entrusted to strengthen others. Take a gentle moment and let this word travel beyond you. Like this message, if it has stirred something true in your spirit, not as an act of habit, but as an act of worship, a quiet acknowledgement that light has found you again. Share it. Not for attention, but for impact. Somewhere, someone is scrolling in silence, wondering if their storm will ever end. Your simple act could become the rope that pulls them from despair. You never know how far light travels once released. And yes, subscribe. Not for numbers or recognition, but to remain close to this flow of divine conversation. These words are not random, they are reminders. Drops of heaven poured into your timeline. By staying connected, you stay in rhythm with revelation. Finally, if this message found you in a moment of clarity or comfort, leave a comment below. Write what this season means to you, what you've learned, what you're letting go of, or simply what you feel. God whispering now. Your words might be the spark another heart needs to keep believing. Your life is poetry, now written not in ink, but in endurance. You are the verse heaven reads to remind creation that redemption still works. Every time you love after loss, forgive after betrayal, hope after heartbreak, you preach a sermon without sound. Chosen one. This rising isn't loud. It's steady, graceful, powerful in its peace. You no longer need to prove anything. Your presence itself is proof. You've moved from praying for rescue to becoming a living rescue. Like an eagle emerging after the storm. Your wings are stronger because of the wind. You don't fear the heights anymore, you were made for them. You see further now. Love deeper. Walk freer. The world may never understand the cost of your glow, but heaven does. And that's enough. Because heaven watched you stand when standing felt impossible. Heaven saw you forgive when bitterness was easier. Heaven heard your whispered yes when fear screamed, "No." And now, the light that saved you will shine through you. You are not rising alone, you are rising as part of a radiant army of rescued ones, each of you a flicker of grace. Together, forming a wildfire of renewal that no darkness can contain. You are not just restored, you are reborn. You are not just surviving, you are shining. You are the light of the world, the living evidence of divine rescue. And from this moment forward, wherever you go, may your life whisper to the world, God still saves. Chosen one. When heaven rescues, it never stops at restoration. It always commissions. The rescue is only the beginning of a greater assignment. What you've endured was never meant to end in comfort, but in calling. You were pulled from the pit, not merely to stand safely on solid ground, but to extend your hand to those still struggling to climb out. The very pain that once imprisoned you is now the key to unlocking others. There is a fire being kindled inside you. It is not the consuming fire of destruction, but the commissioning fire of divine purpose. This is the flame that burns away hesitation and ignites mission. You can feel it stirring the sense that your story must now serve, that your testimony must now travel, that your survival must now speak. Heaven has appointed you not just as a witness, but as a warrior of compassion. The voice of God thundered through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 9. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. That same truth rests upon you now. The same hand that rescued you is now empowering you to speak, to comfort, to bring light where fear still lingers. The words you once struggled to find will flow like rivers. You won't have to force them. They will come from the well of your own healing. You may feel unprepared. You may think, who am I to speak? But heaven delights in using the ones who once doubted themselves. The most powerful messengers are those who know what mercy feels like. Your story carries authority because it carries authenticity. You don't have to sound perfect. You only have to sound real. The commissioning fire is not a dramatic spectacle. It's a quiet burning that spreads through small acts of obedience. A message spoken in love, a prayer whispered for a stranger, a kindness offered without recognition. Each moment becomes fuel for the flame. Each act of faith becomes a spark that lights the darkness in someone else's world. You are being entrusted with influence, not the shallow kind that fades with applause, but the sacred kind that transforms hearts unseen. Heaven's assignments rarely make headlines, but they make history in the spirit. The person you encourage may be the one who changes nations. The word you share may become the anchor that keeps another soul from sinking. Chosen one, you are part of heaven's chain reaction. Every testimony you carry is a torch. The rescue you received is meant to reproduce rescue. The grace that healed you is meant to heal through you. You are no longer just a receiver of miracles. You are now a vessel of them. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. When you walk into a room, peace walks with you. When you speak truth, confusion begins to clear. You have become a carrier of divine energy, a living echo of redemption. People may not know why they feel lighter when you're near, but heaven does. It's the radiance of rescue, the afterglow of grace. The commissioning fire will not let you return to normal. Once you've seen the world through the eyes of redemption, you can't unsee it. You will start noticing pain differently, hearing brokenness differently, responding to suffering with compassion instead of judgment. That is the mark of the commissioned eyes that see through mercy. And while you walk this path, remember, the same hand that sends you also sustains you. You are not being thrust into this alone. Heaven will guide your steps with precision. Every word, every gesture, every divine encounter will be orchestrated with purpose. You will find yourself in moments that feel accidental but are actually assignments. You now carry that same pattern. Heaven has rescued, refined, and now released you. The fire within will continue to grow, not to consume, but to compel to move you, where compassion demands and truth directs. And as you walk in this commissioning, you will realize something sacred. The more you pour out, the more heaven pours in. The fire doesn't fade with use, it expands. Your obedience becomes oxygen. Your willingness becomes fuel. Chosen one, step forward with quiet confidence. You are no longer waiting for the next miracle, you are becoming it. You are the answer to someone else's prayer. The living proof that rescue is possible. The commissioning fire burns within you now, steady and unstoppable. You are ready, chosen one. When the fire of commissioning settles into stillness, what remains is legacy. You have walked through storm and silence, surrender and shaking, rescue and rising, and now heaven begins to echo through your obedience. What you've lived is no longer just a story, it's becoming a sound. Your life itself is now a message, an eternal echo that will outlast the years. You may not feel extraordinary, but eternity will remember you differently. Heaven records more than miracles. It records faithfulness. Every quiet, yes, every tearful prayer, every small act of love, those are the notes that compose your eternal melody. The divine keeps no record of perfection, only of persistence. Legacy is not what you leave behind, it's what you set in motion. The light you carry now will not end with you. Every person you've touched, every seed you've planted, will continue to bloom long after you've moved on. Heaven's mathematics multiplies in silence. One act of mercy becomes a ripple that crosses generations. You may never see its full reach, but heaven will. In the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, the Apostle Paul wrote words meant for hearts like yours. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. You have not given up. Through every test and trial, you've kept walking, even when it felt like crawling. Even when faith flickered like a small candle in the wind, you kept it burning. That perseverance has rewritten your lineage. The choices you make in obedience today will ripple into the lives of those you'll never meet. Heaven looks at you and sees continuity. The story that began generations before you continues through your courage. The patterns of fear that tried to define your bloodline are breaking because of your faith. Where others saw endings, God saw inheritance. You have become the turning point for those who come after. This is what it means to be chosen, not merely to be blessed, but to become a bridge. You stand between the prayers of those who came before and the promises of those yet to come. You are the living answer to ancient intercessions. The echo that began centuries ago finds resonance in your obedience. Think of your life as a cathedral being built stone by stone. Each moment of surrender, each act of faith, is a brick in the architecture of eternity. You may never see the completed structure, but heaven will. The beauty is not just in the finished masterpiece, but in the building, the patience, the persistence, the prayer that laid every stone. You've been shaped by holy hands, carved by grace into a vessel that can carry more than light. You carry legacy. You were never meant to blend into the background of history. You were meant to become part of heaven's ongoing conversation with earth. A voice that says, God still restores. God still rescues. God still reigns. And though the world may never fully understand the depth of your journey, the heavens do. They watched as you refused to bow to bitterness, as you forgave when it cost you comfort, as you believed when evidence vanished. The heavens saw every act of quiet courage and recorded it as worship. Now, as you stand in this final moment of revelation, understand this. Your obedience has altered the atmosphere. You have shifted the course of not only your own life, but the unseen lives connected to you. The eternal echo has begun. It will move through time, through others, through generations, until the sound of your faith becomes part of heaven's symphony. And the beauty of it all is this: echoes never fade completely. They travel farther than the voice that made them, long after your steps have passed through the dust of earth. Your faith will continue to resonate through children, through stories, through lives touched by the light you carried. Chosen one. Your rescue has become revelation. Your pain has become prophecy. Your obedience has become sound. You have stepped into the fullness of your design. You were not chosen just to endure. You were chosen to endure for a purpose. There is peace now, not the fragile peace of circumstance, but the deep peace of completion. You have walked through fire and come out shining. You have wrestled with doubt and emerged with discernment. You have tasted despair and learned the flavor of divine hope. When heaven speaks of you, it won't use the language of survival. It will use the language of significance, because through you, others will see that rescue is real, redemption is reachable, and purpose is powerful. Chosen one. You've walked the full journey from divine interruption to eternal echo, and heaven rejoices over your endurance. You have not only listened, you have transformed. The same voice that called you at the beginning now blesses you at the end. Well done, faithful one. You have answered. You have believed. And you have become light. Now, as this message closes, let its truth continue to move through you. Let your voice carry the sound forward. If this divine story has awakened something within you, like this message as an act of agreement, not for vanity, but as a whisper to heaven saying, I'm still listening. Share it so that another heart, perhaps hidden in silence tonight, may find the same rescue you have found. You never know whose darkness your light might reach. And if you felt the steady pull of these words, if your spirit has grown stronger in this space, then subscribe. Not as a follower of content, but as a keeper of flame. Stay close to this stream of messages where heaven continues to speak, gently and clearly. Finally, in the quiet below, leave a comment. Tell heaven what this journey has meant to you, what chapter healed you, what moment reached you, what word felt written for your soul. Every testimony becomes another torch in the field of faith. You are not the same. You are brighter. You are bolder. You are chosen. And this is only the beginning.